Welcome, everybody, to a fascinating tale, hitherto untold. For a time, there was no motion. Everything had become statute, was set in stone. The bodies that were had been for so long that what they were was known to all that was, and they couldn't move. Now, in this place of stone, there was a body that was birthed out of the environment itself, as things seemingly do. They arise from a set of circumstances, and out of this motionless place, something began to stir. All of these figures looking down that stood so tall, but they couldn't reach the ground. There was no motion. But little by little, the wind seemed to stir something up, and a form began to take shape. This form appeared here and there, seemingly anywhere. Didn't necessarily say this is where it was that I was first. It seemed to come and go, and no one could know where it would come next, right? But out of all these figures and the laws that they stood and represented, this thing was birthed forth from these laws. And the first cherub was. Now, this cherub was a cute little angel. And it looked up and saw all these stone statues, these figures that were immovable, yet mute, but they spoke, multitudes, right? In their position and in their immovability. That's how this thing came to be. It was through the interaction of the voiceless words that these things had fought for years. This was their position, their stance on things. And as these things reinforced their stance, all it did is further the creation of this thing which was birthed from the war between and among these figures. But they had been for so long that, like has been said, everything that they were was known, so they couldn't move. But this thing, it moved, and it danced, and it played, and it had fun, and it climbed over and up and on top of all of these stone statues. It swung from limb to limb, and it was light, it was airy, and it was beautiful. And all of these things, even though their eyes couldn't move, they would catch glimpses of this beauty, this motion, and it made them feel alive once more, like they themselves could move from this place that they hadn't moved from in so long. Well, one day, this little cherub was swinging from the arm of a high seraph, and the arm, it broke and fell, and something miraculous happened. The seraph was then able to move, and it looked down and saw the little cherub crying because he had broken this statute figure that he had grown to love, and this place that was so stable and sound that had seemingly unknowingly raised this thing, all of a sudden seemed to come to life. And the high seraph looked down at the little cherub and said, "Thank you so very much. The things that had not known motion and had not known life in so long had been brought back to life by this pure, innocent little thing. And thus, St. Valentine's was born.